What's up, everybody? Yep, I'm jumping right in. This is Lazy Farmer. So, all right, we're going to jump in and we're going to just get rolling, no countdown. This is me, my fingers crossed. And if you guys have followed, and I really haven't kept you guys up to date in the channel. And hoping you guys can hear me. My microphone's working here. What's up, Ghost? I see you there. But anyway, it's been a really bumpy ride with my system. And if you read the description, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And if you've been following the prices for computer components, especially memory, um, I mean, I've started the computer build, but it's come to a grinding halt. But I've done some work, and if this goes well tonight, I will explain what it is that was causing a problem in my system. So what's up, Andrew? You wanted me to live stream, Andrew. Here I am. We're going to keep your fingers crossed, bud. Keep your fingers crossed. What's up, Mikey? How you doing? Welcome. That's right, Mikey. You must be on your phone. If you're on your phone, you're at work. But if you're not at work, yeah, no, we're not playing Lotro tonight. All right. And if anybody wants to play Lord of the Rings online, please come do so. We're trying to get a nice big. We need at least 6 people. That's it. But I digress. So anyway, let's jump right in. And I'm going to go ahead and let's get the screen up. There it is. So I've made some changes. So hopefully everything is going to go well tonight. You can see there, I don't know, you might be able to read that and may not. I am going to be ATC tonight. I am not running beyond ATC, although I am going to start doing that because if this works out, I'm going to start doing a um, lot more short flights, and that's what this is. This flight's about maybe an hour, hour and a half, and I haven't even programmed it in. So you can see up there in the upper left-hand corner, I've got a pilot's life up. It's a short flight from St. Louis to Chicago. So we're going from St. Louis Lambert International Airport to Chicago O'Hare International Airport. We'll be starting at a gate. I have yet to pick that. We will taxi out, take off, fly, land, taxi in, and all things going well. Yeah, it's going to be a good flight. We're going to see how things go. So, and then I'll explain what was dragging my. If this goes well, I am going to explain what's been dragging my system down. So hopefully, you guys can kind of go with it. Now, yeah, we are. It is nighttime here. I am going to keep it. Actually, you know what? No, I'm using live weather, live everything. So let's go ahead. I want to get into SimBrief. So if you're not using SimBrief, create yourself a free subscription. You can go to navigraph.com and create that subscription. You don't need to subscribe to it, although if you do subscribe to it, you get the latest AirRack cycle, which is the most accurate flight pass. And they've just did a huge, massive update maybe about a month or so ago to where now you have all the flight pass in Europe and Asia and yeah, so it's pretty much really complete. And then, of course, Navigraph with that same subscription, Navigraph has just started their Flight Academy, Navigraph Academy. So you can actually go through a virtual flight school. And trust me, I have started doing that. It's it's a challenge. It's legit. I'm going to tell you, these guys are, all of them are pilots. 2 of them are former airline pilots, and they're fairly young. I don't know why they're former, as being as young as they are, but they're fairly young, and they do. I guess all of them also work at a flight school as well too. So definitely worth it. You can learn how to fly a Cessna 172. So what? Huh? Yeah. Yeah. What? Okay. Whatever. River. Whatever, Ghost. Okay, let's get in here. We're going to do a new flight. Actually, did I already program this one in? Let me double check. There is going to be a Sunday flight too. Yeah, this one's going to be from Salt Lake City to where is it? Somewhere in Central America. I can't remember now. I drew a blank. So we're going to go new flight, and we're going to go program this one in right from the very get-go. Let me go ahead and get rid of the flight info actually and get rid of pilot's life so you guys can see what I'm doing. So anyway, all right, so I am now flying in a pilot's life, I started out Transavia Air, went to, if you caught some of the last ones I did, I went to Frontier Airlines, and then from Frontier, I went to a 5-star airline, Delta Airlines. I've been flying Delta, did all the different hubs and stuff. I would do at least 5 flights a week doing that, and literally, don't forget, shout out your old crew, by the way. No, I mean, you're part of that old crew, dude. You just don't come around anymore, you know. But anyway, no, Mike, in fact, Mike just bought a brand new PC so he can come fly with Jason and myself. So, and then if, if Ken, I was going to say, what's his name? If Ken ever gets back, I mean, he can fly too. So you can come join us and we'll teach you how to fly. And I know, was it, Jefferson's out there, but I mean, come on, Jefferson, you gotta get serious about your flights. You gotta quit trying to get your that F-35 up to like 80 million miles, is what you were saying. All right, AAL, I'm now flying for American Airlines. They offered me $80 an hour for every hour I'm in the air. Soon, dude, you've had that computer for a week. Why aren't you up there now? All right, flight number, I need to go pull up, let me get Pilot's Life up. Flight number is going to be 2444, so I can get credit for it in a Pilot's Life. If you're not using a Pilot's Life is a one-time purchase. Basically, it's like giving you a quest that you can do in Flight Sim, flying airlines, and you can, try to get XP, make money, buy licenses so you can fly different types of aircraft, and basically build yourself up until you get a nice high rating. What's my rating? I think my rating is like 92% right now, which surprised me because I actually, about 3 weeks ago, I applied to American and they turned me down, and then yesterday or the day before, a couple of days maybe, they offered me a job. So it's pretty cool. So now I wish in real life were flying for American. I think that'd be pretty cool. But I'd feel sorry for those 150 people standing behind me or sitting behind me. At least with their Bibles out, crossing themselves, and saying goodbye to their loved ones. I'm just saying. All right, so we're gonna put in KSTL departing St. Louis and arriving in KORD, which is O'Hare. So I'm looking at the METAR for St. Louis right now, which was taken at 0915. No, make that 090151 Zulu. 100. Okay, winds are heading 130 at 8 knots. 10 miles visibility, a few clouds at 18,000 feet, scattered clouds at 25,000 feet. It is -1 with a dew point of -6, so that sounds like it's going to be an anti-ice takeoff. All right, we got that. We got this. Okay, let's move on. Aircraft, I am flying a 319 tonight. I fly Phoenix. So, I mean, I really do like the Phoenix, the way they've modeled aircraft. They are coming out with the Neo versions of the 319, 320, and the 321s. That has been put on hold, but it is coming, and so they're not going to release it unless it's perfect. Okay, so they got us at 19,000 feet, and they got us departing runway 12. I don't want to do that. That's actually, most of this information is coming right from live data. So that's why I use SimBrief. And so SimBrief is telling me I need to take off on 12 right, arrive on runway 27 center. We are sitting at 19,000 feet, so no step climbs. That automatically disables that. And fuel options, I'm just going to change this a little bit. Fuel options, we're going to do a contingency of 30 minutes with a reserve fuel of an additional 30. So we're going to have an extra hour of flight time just in case, because O'Hare, if you haven't seen the pictures of O'Hare in Chicago, lots and lots of snow. I asked my buddy Jason, who lives up in Minneapolis. They don't have that much snow up there, but Chicago's gotten hammered. All right, so we're going to go ahead. Let's update the time here and go generate flight. Okay, flight is done. And I'm going to put that in the background so I can see what I'm doing. I got 2 monitors here. And all right, so we're going to go ahead and import this route. So it comes up and says, do not interact with the simulator. That is true. You do not want to touch it. I'm telling you, I spent $3,500. Oh, I'm telling you about. Yeah, I'm telling. See, you know what? I would tell anybody, if you come and ask me now, should I buy a new PC? No. Okay, no, trust me, and I know. I mean, I want to get a better PC for flight sim and for streaming. And kind of like right now, I'm dropping frames. So this is already telling me that, I mean, this setup might be a little bit, and I'm going to go into the settings, but we're going to try to fly it anyway. We're going to fight with it, and honestly, if it's an ugly fight, we're going to bring this to a stop. But we're going to try it anyway. All right, so it has been imported. Now, if we can get through this, now also the other thing too, here's the other side of it. This is outside my control. In the town that's about 30 minutes south of me, okay, I have Comcast for internet, and I have terabyte down. And it's like half a terabyte up. It's wickedly fast. But they've had a fiber optic cut about 30 minutes south of me. So where my work has been without internet for 5 days now, my system here, I have internet, but I'm noticing that it's very, very laggy. So that might be a factor too. But let's see how this goes. Let's keep going. All right. So right now, as you import this flight from SimBrief, I am using live weather, so these are the conditions here. It is slightly cloudy, and so we're good. But it wants to put you right on the runway. And you can start there if you want. I like to taxi out, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to go let's pick gate A21, just something random. It's set. We're going to go fly. So, all right, I'm watching OBS here. So I don't know if the frames are, oh, RAM prices are nuts. And here's what's driving the RAM. If you're not familiar, I mean, I don't know how you're not. Gamers, PC builders, people like us really are on top of this. But it's the data centers for AI. I want to call them the AI data centers. They're sucking up all the memory. Okay, that's why memory prices are going up. That's why GPU prices are going up. Now it's starting to affect the die prices as well. When I say the die, it's the base silicone chips that everything is made from. Okay, so that's CPU, GPUs, memory, all that stuff. And I'm making this very simplistic, but it's pretty much affecting all of that. And what's happening now is, like, you had Crucial, which was the only American-made company that was making memory modules. They just, for consumers, okay, as well as industry, but they were an American company making memory modules for consumers. They just announced that they are not going to be in the consumer market anymore. So I just looked at DDR5 prices. 6400 megahertz memory, and I'm doing this from my head, so I might be wrong, excuse me if my numbers are off, but 6400 megahertz memory, 64 gigabytes of memory, last year at this time was $80. It's almost $1,000 now. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. I will not pay that. I'm going to get rid of this GSX. This is probably going to keep popping up because it's still loading software, loading up here. So we're going to let it do its thing. It'll finally catch up. In the meantime, it's dark in this cabin. I am cold and dark, so I'm going to go ahead and start the batteries. Batteries are up. We'll get the available ground power going. Everything's lit up. Let's get some lights on inside the cabin. There it is. So as you go through and see all this, there it is. Let's go ahead and we can close that out. And it's up. Okay, so we don't... GSX, what are you doing, man? Leave me alone. All right, so as you can look around the cabin, this was one thing as I was streaming, I could not even simply do this, just move around the cabin You can see it's a nice, even, slow movement. I'm watching it on OBS. It's not really even tearing that much either. I can live with it. I hope you guys can live with it. I can live with it. So, all right, let me go ahead and get my check off sheet here. And yes, I did eliminate those. All right, pre-flight, we're going to look at the parking brake. All right, parking brake is going to move. I'm also checking my thing. I've got the Thrustmaster throttle quadrant and side stick for the Airbus, which I'm going to be changing those out and going to wind wing, which means that actually I will probably be putting these up for sale when I do that. So keep an eye out for that. Weather radar is off and predictive wind shear is off. Spoilers are retracted and disarmed. Flaps retracted and disarmed. Same on the controls over here. Engine mode selector is set to norm. Engine masters are off. Thrust levers are idle and responsive. Transponder mode is on and in standby. Check. Anti-skid is on. Landing gear is down and wipers are off. I always wondered about why wipers are off. Well, when you pay as much as they do for their windscreens, you don't want to scratch those things up. All right, batteries 1 and 2 are already on, and external power is already on, at which point we can do, just for you guys, I'll do this. I don't normally do this, but I'll do this for you guys. You know, I need to go look. I can hear that. Let me go back. I'm on desktop audio. Let me see if that comes back. If you guys can hear this, let me know. Yeah, it looks like it's responding. EPU fire test. Engine 1. Engine 2. And cargo smoke. All tests are good. All right. We don't need APU at this time, but we will come down here. Crew oxygen supply to on. Ground control recorder to on. Evac set to captain. And we go up here and turn ADIRS 1, ADIRS 2, and ADIRS 3 to nav. And yeah, I'm looking at it from, now I could move up. Let me see, if I do this, I can look down on the console. That's left control 6, left control 5, look straight up. But honestly, I like looking at it. I'm trying to be fully immersive and look at it from the pilot's perspective. All right. Oh yeah, we just keep going. Okay, ADIRS were done. So next, cockpit lights, which are on. Nav and logo lights, right there. We'll just simply go to 1 or 2, doesn't matter. No smoking signs. Yes, we go full on the no smoking signs because we will be calling for fuel. Emergency lights will be set to arm, and then we go to the electronic flight bag, which is left control and 3. Once again, these are Phoenix controls, so we're going to go to the Phoenix now. This I do a little bit different. I start with sim settings. I did go into delivery for this plane, and I modified some of the settings I want to go through, and I make sure, like this one, yellow hydraulic steering, I got to put that in there. Nav in, go around, cabin, controls. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave that way. Here's our call outs in feet, inches, and pounds. All this should be normal. That is, I'll go with it. Now at that point, I just go to flight. And we're going to go ahead and import the flight plan from SimBrief. Now, once again, as I re-import from SimBrief, I put it in SimBrief. I got 23 minutes to push away from the gate. If I don't push away from the gate, oh well. All right, so load aircraft. Oh, before I load the aircraft, I do need to do something here. Hang on a second, guys. I want to go over here, turn this on. I need to turn that on, and let's turn that up full. And we're going to turn this up full, and then hopefully you guys can hear GSX. I think I've solved the audio problem on that one too. So we're going to go ahead and let's get boarding and fueling going.
Refueling truck is on its way.
Now GSX at this point takes over, and they do their stuff. GSX has come a long way. Beyond ATC has come a long way too, and I'm telling you, between Beyond ATC and Say Intentions, go Beyond AT. It's a one-time purchase. I'm not getting paid to say this. I'm just saying, I would rather spend one price for a piece of software as opposed to spend additional money over and over and over and over and over again. But it's your budget. You do what you want. I'm not saying tensions is bad. I'm just saying that
Catering
the
vehicles are on their way.
subscription fee is not that good. Okay, annunciator lights. Let me do this. Normally I bypass this too when I'm flying by myself, but I'm going to turn the annunciator lights on. And we look at the overhead panel. Everything's all lit up. I don't see anything that might not be lit up. And as I'm looking at the overhead panel and everything, I'm looking down here at my MCDU that is sitting on my desk, as well as the FMC and the EFIS units. Everything's all lit up. We're good to go. So, which means I have connections. So that's good. That's a good test there. And that's a legit test. All right. Probe heat is set to auto. That is on. Anti-ice is off. We will be turning that on before we start our engines up and before we take off, so we were in icing. In fact, you might even hear GSX say, due to icing conditions. Okay, air conditioning. We're going to go, I do 2 notches to the left. That will put it about 71, 72 degrees in the cabin and in the cockpit here. Fuel pumps on after we're done fueling. Doors are opened and closed by GSX. Don't have to worry about that. Okay, ACU brake pressure, we got that. Perfect. ECAM status. We're going to go to status. Everything's good. AP 1 and 2 are not on because we're not flying right now. And then we go to our ECAM recall, which is normal. Good. Perfect. Radio panels. WindWing is coming out with a set of radio panels. I'm sorry, I'm circling the wrong thing. Right here. Set of radio panels. So they got the MCDU out. I want to get a second one. I have this one. I need this one. This has already come out. This has come out from WindWing. This has come out from WindWing. Looks almost exactly what you see here, except for they don't have the trim wheels, which you don't need. You don't, because it's automatic. So, all right. So now we need to. Speaking of MCDU, I'm going to go to the second MCDU. And since I only have that one, I'm going to go over here, hit the menu. I want to get the weather and do a weather request. And I am at KSTL. Punch that in. Get the METAR. All right. And then we're going to do return. Go back and go get received messages. Come on. Load sheet. Oh, weather data just came in. Hang on. Load sheet. I need that load sheet up. I need to accept it. It is laggy a little bit. We'll see how it goes. It's not too bad. Do return. Weather data. Alright, it's not going to give me weather data. So, yeah, just clicked on view. Now, there was just an update from Phoenix, so that might be a Phoenix issue. That sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not going to panic on that. So, all right, we're going to go ahead. Yeah, I'm having trouble getting out of the AOC menu now. Let me do it on this panel here. So, not there. There we go. I had to hit it a bunch of times. Let's go in and see if I can get. I'm going to try to get weather. This is off MCDU 1, which is sitting on my desk. So, and we are going to KSTL. METAR. Can't remember if I hit that now that I said that. I think about that. Receive messages. There it is. All right. So I need the Barrow is what I'm looking for. So we will be going to, I need the Barrow, which is right there, 3021. All right. So we're going to look here. We are set already for inches of mercury. We're going to go 3021. Barometric pressure is set. That's what our altitude is based off of. All right. So that's set. And now we need, let's see, we need constraints on, which would be that button right there. I'll do it from my desk. I'll do it on the air side and the co-pilot side as well too. Got it. Arc set to 10. That's arc here, set to 10 nautical miles. That's for the navigation display. Let's see what's going on outside here. Oh, let's go back inside real quick. Maybe we can see a little bit better if I turn the wing lights on. There we go. All right. I think fueling is already done. It's a short flight, so it doesn't take much fuel. All right. Anyway, so Q and H did that. EFIS are set. That's flight directors are on. Constraints are on. Pilot, co-pilot, arc, and set to 10 nautical miles on the pilot side. Co-pilot, I set that to 40. All right. Now we're going to go back and we're going to go return. We're going to go to FMGC. And let's go. We didn't need to go to. Oh, I know what I forgot. I forgot one more thing. I'm monologuing, and I always forget when I forget things when I monologue. Return. Return again. Flight init right there. I need that. Let's get that information. There it is. All right. Now we can go back to the FMGC. And then we're going to go get our flight plan from the company. Are they already boarding? Holy crap. All right, there's our flight plan. We are American Airlines 2444. All right, and the flight number there, and our cost index. Now, this is where I'm going to come over to here, and if you look at the pilot's life up there in the upper left hand corner, if you guys can see that, I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to show SimBrief OFP, which is going to be right here. The format I use is for EasyJet because it's actually pretty clear and it makes sense to me. So our cost index is 40. All right, so I'm going to come back over here to the MCDU. And I'm going to put 40 in. That's how much we're going to burn, basically, in fuel. Our flight level is 190, and they're predicting that it is minus 25 degrees up there. All right, that's in. We're going to go ahead and get our wind information on the route. That's when the plane's already up in the air. And historical information, all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so that's done. And IRS in it, I think we're still aligning. No, it looks like we're already aligned. Okay.
Good evening.
And that should all gone away, so we are aligned already. Perfect. Okay, go back to return. And that was in it page B. We're going to go to flight plan now, and we're going to be leaving out of KSTL, departing. And I don't know if you guys can see this, where my cursor is on the pilot's life, but I'm looking at right in here. That is the flight plan for what we're doing.
Hello.
So it is, we're leaving out of 12 right. And Keishi, is that even on there? I don't know if that's even on there.
Hello.
Oh, no, it is. There it is, Keishi 5. And then we're transitioning into Lavoie. And we're going to insert that one, and then we're going to go out of, we're going to arrive at KORD, go to arrival, and we are arriving on 27 center.
This way.
All right, and Turtle, TRTLL. There's Turtle 6 with a transition of cash-in. All right. That's set, so we can go ahead and do flight plan, and we'll just, what we're going to do is we're going to go make this scroll up, and we're going to look for any issues. Right there, there's an issue. All right, so we're going to go ahead, clear manual,
Good evening.
clear discontinuity. All right, there we are. That should clear the discontinuity. We'll keep scrolling through it.
This way.
And there it is. Right there is our airport. Okay, KORD 27 center. All right, progress. We can go in here and do KORD 27 center. Enter that in. It is 225 miles, nautical miles, so a little bit longer than a river mile. But anyway, okay, so that's it. We're going to go to secondary flight plan. Copy that. And then we're going to go see rad nav. We've got our information. Nothing to really do on this page other than to see that we have our frequencies. And then we go back to init and then page B. And this is where we go over and look at our receive messages, load sheet. I need 0 fuel weight right there, which is 115.2. For the center of gravity, let's page up. Center of gravity is 28.7. We'll enter that in. And you can see where I've entered that information in there. Now I just need the block fuel, and the block fuel I get from right here. So it is 12.7 block fuel. We round that one up. So if we go back, you can see block fuel 12.7, and this is going to populate, and there it is. All right, so that's populated. And that was in a page B, and now we're just waiting for performance. So that's all I'm waiting on. So what I'm going to do now, we come back here. We've got 98 of 109. Let's go ahead and start burning some fuel. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here.
Welcome on board.
And, oh, I need to do one more thing before I start burning fuel. I got to do something. These people are going to be sweating in the box here, but it's cold outside. They're going to appreciate the chill time in here. We're going to come in here first of all. And what I want to do is, actually I want to go to this page here, and I'm going to do the refresh the METAR. This is the METAR from Chicago O'Hare on our predicted landing weight. Ping. All right, aircraft is loaded. Let's see, I want progress. No. Hang on. I just had a brain fart. There we go. It's actually on init page B. Landing weight is predicted landing weight is 123.5, and so we can see our landing distance with brakes and everything. But we do not have a. I'm going to say it is a good to medium. Let's take a look. Winds are 160 at 11 knots, 10 miles visibility, overcast. It is freezing up there in Chicago, but I see no indications of rain or snow or anything like that. But I'm going to say we're going to go ahead and give it medium, and with full flaps and low brakes, I got lots of stopping distance, so we're going to set it for that. All right, so that is something that has to be done. I just found that out recently, that you really need to do that before you leave the gate in real life. I did not know that. All right, so we're going to accept our compliance load sheet. All right, we're going to leave that on that page. We're going to go back. Oops, I'm going to go back over here. We're going to sync that final sheet. Make sure the weather is right. Do a calculation. It is a flaps 1.8 up on the trim. And now we are going to, well, before I even do that, go here. Send my information to the MCDU. Let's see if it changes. So 115.2, 28.7, 12.7. What changes? Not a thing. So my numbers, I always like to make sure my numbers are right. All right, so we're going to go back in here to our takeoff performance. It's already been calculated. We're going to send that to the MCDU. And you'll see down here that what was on that screen matches. So flaps 1.8 up on the trim. Flex to temp is 66 degrees. V1 is 140. VR rotation is 141. And V2 is 145 knots. So, okay, we're set. So now at this point, let's go back and let's kick on fuel pumps. Well, trust me when I say it helps. All right, APU to on, APU, that's APU master to on, APU start, and we're going to watch our lower ECAM right here. Okay, while we're waiting for that to come up, let's go back to the electronic flight bag. I want to go here, here, and we're going out to Kashi, and so we are looking at top altitude of 5,000. All right, so we're going to go ahead, and you can see right there 100 feet, 1,000 feet. I just turned that knob. You can see as I turn it on my dash here, and then we're going to go to 5,000. Oops, go far. Hold at 5,000. Let's go back. What does the chart say to do? From Kashi on transition, maintain 5,000, expect filed altitude 10 minutes after departure. So 10 minutes after our wheels up off the ground, then we can go ahead and transition to 19,000 feet or flight level 190. So, and next thing I do then is I get the airport up. Let's see, we are going out 12 right. 12 right is right here, the plane's right there, so it is going to be a nose left, so my nose needs to face this way, so which basically we just basically face north, but we're going to do a nose left pushback, and then we're going to have to taxi out Charlie. We can just keep going straight out Charlie and cross runway 2406, whichever one you want to call it, and cross that, turn on, and we'll go ahead and take off on 12 right. I am ATC, there's no other planes flying, so I will be, we're just going to be rolling with it. This is all about checking the stream, which is looking, and how the sim operates too, while we actually get going. All right, so I'll leave this up, and I usually move it over here, so that way when I am ready to go, I can just look over and see where my plane's at. All right, so we are ready to go. Let's see, the APU looks like it's already up. Yep, APU green light available. So we're going to go APU bleed on, external power to off. So now we are on our own power. All right. If I was ATC, they would give me a squawk code, so I would go in and put it down here. We're just going to go, I'm going to make one up. It doesn't matter for what we're doing tonight. I'm just going to make it, just go ahead and plug that in. And I'm looking through. I think I missed something here somewhere. Excuse me for looking. I'm looking through my. I feel like there's something missing on this checkoff sheet. Oh, there it is. Never mind. I'm not there yet. Okay, I'm almost there. All right, so put in the squawk code. External power disconnected. Seatbelt signs are going to go to on. Thrust levers, once again, we're going to check, make sure that they are idle and responsive. They are.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Vera, and I'm your chief flight attendant.
Fuel quantity check, takeoff data check, transponder mode. This is what I was looking for.
If you haven't already done
auto.
So, please stow your carry-on luggage underneath the seat in front of you or in an overhead bin.
Start, and we're going to do
please
beacon
take your
lights
seat
to
and
on,
fasten
which
your
will tell GSX
Also
ready
make
to push
sure
back.
your seat back and folding trays are in their full upright position. If you are seated next to an emergency exit, please carefully read the special instructions card located by your seat. If you do not wish
So there
to
it was.
perform
We're
the
going to go ahead and
functions
close
described
this
in the
out.
event of an emergency,
So we have icing
please ask
conditions,
a
so we're
flight
not
attendant
starting
to
until the
reseat you.
pushback is complete.
We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for
Smoking is
pushback.
prohibited on the entire aircraft.
Go ahead and shove,
including
baby.
The
Oh,
lavatories.
wait, that was sexually harassing.
Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the lavatory
All right.
smoke detectors is prohibited by law. If you have any questions about our flight today, please don't hesitate to ask one of our flight attendants. Thank you.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
That's definitely louder. I couldn't hear that before, and I got that going through my desktop, so I hope you guys are hearing that too. So we're getting some motion. I see, oh, that's back to green again. It's been dropping. The frame drop is a little bit, and it's got some, like I said, once I get in the air and get up here, and depending on how the plane flies and everything, I'll be talking about what I did, what I found, what I've changed, other than putting my system in into a NZXT H6 air, case and putting in extra fans and going to a positive pressure system. I haven't really, oh, and getting rid of the AIO too. That was the other thing. Okay, I said nose left, so we're gonna go nose left, tail right.
Release parking brakes, please.
All right, parking brakes released.
Commencing push. Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push is completed and brakes are set.
Steers were awfully close. But I wanted to see what it was looking like. I have to go find St. Louis because I'm going to go look at all the airports. I'm going to fly out of O'Hare for a while, and I want to make sure that off of flightsim.to I can find some GSX profiles. So I found one for O'Hare, but I don't know. It looks like there's missing some stuff. So I need to go look to see if Field there, who does Tower Simulator 3, or FS Dream Team, if they actually, because they didn't have it, I didn't find it on flightsim.to, but apparently they have a
please set parking brakes.
Parking brakes on. All right. And now I'm waiting for confirmation. A good engine start. All right, so we're going to be looking at the upper ECAM right here. I'm going to start with engine 1. I know a lot of guys, you'll see them do engine 2, but I did read somewhere that they actually do engine 1 right now, and it's becoming kind of a standard. Plus, some of the, what else was it? Other than the yellow system, I think the blue and the green hydraulic systems, I think is what they are, run off of engine 1, and I think it's green and yellow off engine 2. So I don't know, but there's a reason. I can't remember exactly what they were. I read it a long time ago, but they were starting with engine 1. And that way, it's just a standard. That way, if you don't tell ground that you're starting engine 1. All right, I just heard the clunk of a breakers. I'm waiting for it. Oh, I'm gonna come down a little bit. Okay, it does say available, starting engine 2. And you can see here it is, N2 is spinning up. It's taking the APU bleed, and it's taking also bleed air from engine 1. It's spinning up. Exhaust gas temperatures are rising, and we're going to start seeing N1 start to rotate. And I'll shut up. If you listen, you might hear the clunk. That'll be the sound of the breakers kicking in. That was kind of quiet. It was there, but you should see available here. There it is. Okay, engines are available. All right, so I can call up GSX.
Cockpit to ground.
Start.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
All right, after start, brakes are on. Parking, okay, engine master back to normal. APU bleed to off. Engine master to off. Flight controls. We're gonna come down here, flight controls. All right. Joystick forward. Yep. We have down, up, elevator, back to neutral on both.
Unlocking
Right.
gear.
Left. Back to neutral on both. Let me get my rudder pedals here. All right, and this will be left and right, and back to neutral on both. Flight, okay, those flight controls there. Looking
Tow
up
truck
above,
disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
no faults there, and over here, no
Left is
faults
clear,
either.
right is
The
clear.
backup system, so we're good. Left is clear, right is clear. All right, we should see her come up here in a minute. It's dark, can't really see her. If not, I can't see her because sometimes they stand right here where the pillar's at. They're supposed to stand where you can see them. Might be them right there, I don't know. But we'll get a message right there, have a good trip. There it is, have a good trip. Yeah, I can't see her walking away. All right, so anyway, have a good trip. They're walking away. So nose light to taxi at this point. We're ready to taxi out. So ATC, we would normally call for taxi as we would have called for push and start. So, and it is nighttime. We're going to go runway turn off lights, strobes to auto, and we come down here. We're going to go, all right, flaps 1 and a pitch up of about 0.8. We're set. All right, I'm waiting for the flaps to set. Here's, once they're set, takeoff config, we can hit that. Comes back as normal. We're good to taxi. All right, go to page 2. All right, you can see we're paid here. I'm going to turn, and it's going to be an interesting turn. They didn't really push back. I thought they would do a little better push, but oh well. I would think they would get me facing that way. All right, brakes off. Oh, we're already moving. Okay. So by getting rudder pedals for myself, the joystick twists. So now that is my tiller. And the pedals have brakes. So I don't use the button on the joystick anymore.
Ladies and
made
gentlemen,
the plane kind
we
of
now
do a
request your
nosedive.
full attention as the flight attendants demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft. When the seatbelt sign illuminates, you must fasten your seatbelt. Insert the metal fittings one into the other and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. We suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight, as we may experience turbulence. There are several emergency exits on this aircraft. Please take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor-level lighting will guide you towards the exit.
Good.
Doors can
You
be
guys be
opened
the
by
judge of
moving
that.
the handle in the direction of the arrow.
I'm looking at what's happening inside the
Each
cockpit
door is
here.
equipped with an inflatable slide, which may also be detached and used as a life raft.
17. We're going to slow down a little bit because we are
Oxygen
icy.
and air pressure are always being monitored. In the unlikely event of a decompression, an oxygen mask will automatically appear in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you. Place it firmly over your nose and mouth. Secure the elastic band behind your head and breathe normally. Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing
Holding
to
short,
the mask.
runway 6.
If you are traveling with
I
a
don't see anything
child
that
or someone
way.
who requires
Clear
assistance,
to the right,
secure
clear to
your
left.
own
Let's
mask
go ahead
first,
and continue.
and then assist the other person. Keep your mask on until a crew member advises you to remove it. In the event of an emergency, please assume the bracing position. If you hear, brace, brace, brace,
Okay, I've only heard that
lean
once,
forward
Mike.
with your hands on top of your head and your elbows against your thighs. Ensure your feet are flat on the
I
floor.
forgot where I was landing,
A
but I
life
actually
vest
got them
is
to say
located
brace,
in a
brace,
pouch under
brace
your
at my
seat
landing.
or
I
between
walked
the
away.
armrests.
As long as you can
When
walk away,
instructed
any
to do
landing you can
so,
walk away
open the
from is a good
plastic
landing.
pouch and remove the vest. Slip it over your head. Pass the straps around your waist and adjust at the front. To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord, only when leaving the aircraft. If you need to refill the vest, blow into the mouthpieces. Use the whistle and light to attract attention. Also, your seat bottom cushion can be used as a flotation device. Pull the cushion from the
The
seat,
cabin is now
slip your
secure
arms
for
into the
takeoff.
straps, and hug the cushion to your
Thank
chest.
you. See you in Chicago.
You will find this and all the other safety information in the card located in the seat pocket in front of you. We strongly suggest you read it before takeoff. If
I
you
like
have
the
any
crosswind looking
questions,
at the
please
sock right
don't
there.
hesitate to ask one of our crew members. We wish you all an enjoyable flight.
Alright, there's our red sign right there, which is the boundary. There's 12 right painted on the ground. We're going to hold short. Alright, we're going to hold short here. Brakes are on. Alright, so parking brakes are on. Weather radar, this is where we turn the weather radar on. Predictive wind shear on. TCAS to TARA. Spoilers to armed. Auto brakes to max. That's right there. Terrain radar on. Cabin crew will be advised. Strobe lights to full on. Alright. Runway turn off lights are on already. Takeoff lights to on. Landing lights to take off. I mean, not landing lights on. Nose lights to take off. Air conditioning packs, we will turn those off. Alright, ECAM memo.
Prepare for takeoff.
ECAM memo, no blue. We are good for takeoff. Here we go. Even pull my rudders a little bit closer here. There we go. That's much better. Alright, parking brake off. Yeah, I'm going back to what you're saying though. $3,500 for a system. I bet you if you had bought that system, that same system last year, it probably would have been maybe about $1,500. I just don't think it's a good time to buy new systems right now. I mean, it's a waste of money. Everything's way overpriced. Alright, let's turn on to the runway. Whoa, easy on that artillery there. I gotta change the sensitivity on that. Alright, we're gonna line up. Brakes applied. Alright, here we go. Chrono to on. Missing some brakes on. Engines. Okay, let's bring the engines up. Up in the upper ECAM there. Engines coming up and stabilized. Nose down. Go flex. $60 knots. 80. 100. Relax the nose. 120. V1. Rotate. Positive brake, gear up. Autopilot engaged. Alright, landing gear has been retracted. We are still in climb mode. Spoilers can go to disarm. Auto brake will go back down to low, so we're ready for our indicating lever climb. Alright, autopilot 1 is on. Auto thrust is on. Packs back to on. Oops, I don't want that. Packs go back to on. Anti-ice, we're going to go ahead and throw some anti-ice on just in case because it is in the minus here. Okay, exterior lights, we can go to wing lights off, runway turn off lights to off, and nose lights to off. We are only at 3,000 feet. We're going to hold 5,000 feet. Okay, we're above speed, so flaps are retracting now. And we have to keep flaps are retracting, spoilers retracting, and landing lights stay on until we hit 10,000 feet. And we are only 2 minutes into departure, so we gotta wait until at least 10 minutes or until ATC says, that's good enough, you can go ahead and climb. So I think we're going to wait until we'll hold 5,000 feet for a minute. We got a couple little turns here. Once we get back on the straight, we'll go ahead and start our climb to 19 to flight level 190. And that's it so far. I mean, honestly, right now the flight seems to be pretty stable. I got some things I want to work on here, so we're going to look at. I want to show you the MCDU, but I want to keep this. I want to keep an eye on this. I will show you what I do in the MCDU and another time. I'm really watching my displays, because here's what indicated to me that there was a problem with my system, and I wanted to get a better system, something that was a little bit stronger CPU, and it would be my navigation display, or my primary flight display would go wonky, navigation display would go wonky, but mostly it would be the air conditioning would just be like all over the place. I'd start getting alarms. The oxygen max in the back would drop, and it just, and it was all because of, well, really one thing. Okay, it was one thing. And I don't remember doing this, but I will tell you that I ended up, sorry, I'm working on the MCDU as I'm talking to. Let me finish what I'm doing here. What I'm doing is, I know you're not watching me, but I'm actually looking for the top of descent. There it is, Trich. Let's go here, fixed info. Oops, I'm gonna go back to return. I forgot to get something here. Airport, and scroll back down to Trich. From top of descent to Trich is 13, so that's 50. I'm gonna add 40 to that, so that's 53 miles. So I'm gonna go to Trich. TRICH. Info, enter that, and then enter in 53 radius, and enter that into the flight plan. There we go. So I've put in a waypoint, and if I change now, since I'm in the air, I'm changing out. Well, I can go down to a little bit lesser one here. You can kind of see it, but that waypoint right there is what I've added. So I'm looking at this primary flight display, navigation display, lower ECAM with the air conditioning information on it. So that's what would go wonky on me. And I would try to stream this, and I couldn't. So I'm like, okay, I need a better processor, because I know Microsoft stuff is processor intensive, not GPU intensive, although GPU does play a part. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but the GPU does play a part, but not as much as the CPU. So anyway, I'm diving, I'm fighting, I'm kicking, screaming, crying. I'm not happy that I can't stream these flights. And anyway, I go looking around, and I don't know what I was looking for. Oh, I know what it was. I went into my system tray, because I use SimApp Pro, which is the software that talks to the WinWing devices that talk to the simulator. And I went and I was like, wait a minute. I saw something. I'm like, when did this get installed? I don't remember ever saying yes to do this. So my suspicion is that Microsoft took it upon themselves to install Copilot, an AI software. And it was, it bogged my system. It bogged it down big time. So I went to go uninstall it, and of course I use Revo uninstaller, because it uninstalls the software, but then it goes and scans the registry and removes anything remaining in the registry of that piece of software you want to install. I go to uninstall it, Revo doesn't see it, because now it's part of Windows. And so I had to go through Windows and tell Windows uninstall it, which I can tell you right now, it's not completely uninstalled. But it was enough that the issues with the displays inside the Airbus literally disappear, gone. And even that 17-year-old game that I play, Lord of the Rings Online, which was bogging down, it too got better. Run 8 got better. Everything got better. So, okay, so that was the start. Okay, now I'm thinking I can go ahead and maybe start doing some more streaming again. Well, I decided to go dive into some more stuff. Okay, I'm at 8 minutes. We got 2 minutes here. I'm watching the chronograph. It's right over here, which is where I started. I'm at 8 minutes into the flight because according to the chart, it was expect ATC to tell you within 10 minutes that you can go ahead and start your climb. So right now I'm at 5,000 feet, flying, well, past. I've already left St. Louis, but I'm at 5,000 feet, and so. And honestly, probably ATC, especially this time of night, would probably say go ahead and start your climb. So you know what, I'm going to go ahead and start my climb. So let's go to left control 7. Let's hang on, here we go. I got to get back into here. Left control 7. And what I'm going to do is, you can see my altitude right there is 5,000. I'm going to dial it up to 190. Press in on the button, which I can kind of see a small move. But you can look here. Here come the engines. They're roaring to life. Actually, they're already alive, but we're now climbing to fly level 190 or 19,000. Typically, it's 19. Anything under 2,000 or flight level 200 would be just 19,000. I've heard some pilots even listen to ATC radio. Some pilots even go 19,000. So anyway, going back to the story, Copilot's uninstalled, and I'm gonna put later on. I'm gonna put a little link to the video, but I will give credit to EasyJet SimPilot. I think is his channel. And I saw he came out with something, and I went and watched it, and I went, why didn't I think of that? One, I didn't think of it because I'm kind of anti-AI, to be honest with you. I think it's, when it comes down to, if you ever watch Big Bang Theory, unlike Sheldon Cooper, I think it's going to be the rise of the machines, and we're going to be all hunted down. Oh, I'm over 10,000 feet. I got to pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm monologuing. All right, so let's come off. And seatbelt signs can come off, and terrain radar can come off. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign, and you may now move around the cabin. However, we always recommend keeping your seatbelt fastened while you're seated. In a few moments, the flight attendants will be passing around the cabin to offer you hot or cold drinks, as well as a light meal.
So no, this is where I do a lot of planning. This is where, especially such a short flight, you really
now sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
Need to be on top of your plans. In fact, I'm already seeing on my MCDU top of descent's already come up, so it's not that far away. First I'm going to look at the airport. Just want to jump in, look at it. I'm coming in on 27 Center, which is right here. The gates are right here, so I will be going off and then eventually taxiing like E1, Echo 1 or Echo 2 onto Echo, then maybe Romeo, crossing runway 27 left, and coming down wherever I need to go. Maybe even want to find I usually find just the closest spot and pull into it. Beyond ATC will actually get you to the gate, so it will actually assign a gate to you. The other thing I need to do, ILS, we're coming in here. So, all right, so I'm looking for this number right here, 853. So we'll go down here. We're going to go into performance. Next phase, next phase, next phase. Here's our approach phase. I think it was 853 is what I saw. Let's go back and look at it, make sure. 853, all right. So we're going to put in 853, go in here, and I can go back over to here if I wanted to. and I can do weather. There's a couple of places I'll show you where I can go to get it. Go weather, and we'll do KORD. Get the METAR, send it, return. I couldn't even do this. I could not even do this before. Go to receive messages. There's our weather data. All right, so
Ladies and gentlemen,
3016.
we have reached our cruising altitude. Sit
3016
back, relax,
is the QNH.
and enjoy the flight. Have a great journey.
All right, 3016. And we'll go back over here. The temperature is right here, -6 with a -11 dew point. So -6. Back over. We're just going to go, and for temperature, we just do -6. Enter that in the temperature field right up there. And then we need the winds. So the winds right now are right here, 170 at 10 knots. So back down here on the scratch pad, we're going to type in 170/10, and we'll push up here, and there it is, enter there. Anything in the blue can be entered and whatever. We are set for landing configuration full flaps. So we could do a flaps 3 if we want to, but we're doing full flaps on this one. So our landing information is set. All right, so, and then we're also going to be looking at, when we start our descent, we're looking at 2,200 feet is what will be our target descent altitude. So, and that's pretty much what I do when I'm looking at this. So in the meantime, I'm going to keep the airput. I just remember that's 22. So at which point we can go back out of here, and now we're looking, zoom out. So you can see we're going out here, making a sharp turn, and then coming in again. So I should have looked at this. I really don't like this, but we'll see how it goes. And I think that's where that discrepancy is, and maybe we can even do a little cut that corner. We'll take a look once we get closer and see things on the navigation display. All right, back to my monologue. Actually, we are under 80 miles. That is QNH. I didn't even catch that. That was 18. We're going to go ahead and pull out on this knob there. I'm trying to figure out where's the alarm coming from, and it's let's see. I'm gonna go. All right, there we go. That's the alarm you hear, is because I wasn't paying attention. I didn't set the QNH to standard. We're below 1,900 feet, so we're going to be climbing up, and then it'll zero out. All right, now we're back at 1,900 feet with plus or minus 50 feet either way. All right, so, all right, where'd I leave off? Let's see. Everything's flying good. The alarm kind of freaked me out. So, engine ice and wing ice not detected, so we can turn off. Anti-ice, ice is not detected. If we get ice, it'll let us know with an alarm. So right now, I'm looking right here. I think this is ETP, which is estimated transit point. That is halfway. And then if we look up, I just go out to 160 nautical miles, that's our top of descent right there, which is 40 miles from ETP. So ETP and the waypoint that I put in are one and the same. So as we cross the 40, I drop down to 40, then to 20, and that's how I keep it going. All right, so going back to the EasyJet sim pilot, he had a video. He announced that his viewers, subscribers, said, hey, why don't you run your system specs through ChatGPT and see what you get and make the changes accordingly. I did that. I was at work on Saturday, and I ran my specs through my phone and I can just look at what I was seeing that it's not right. Okay, I'm getting messages. I'm dropping frames, so I need to like. It's intermittent, so I might have to back off it a little bit. But you guys tell me what you see. If you like it, if it's good, please let me know. I will go back and look at it again too. So anyway, I ran my specs and everything of what I was trying to do through ChatGPT, and it came up with some changes for me to make, not only in the sim software, but changes I need to make in the software drivers for the video card. And I'm like, okay, so I saved that, came home, made the changes, and on my end, on my 4K screen, I'm going to tell you, wow, night and day. Okay, it looks to my eyes on this screen with this card, night and day. Now, ChatGPT said that my CPU is fine, but I should consider going up a level, which I was planning on going up 3 levels. So, okay, that's still something that's in the future. And I can do that by staying with the same memory that I have. I just have to invest in not going to the latest greatest CPU, but I can go to a motherboard and CPU that are definitely more gaming interactive, faster internet, all that kind of good stuff. So I think that's one of my choke points is my internet speed. And it's internet speed not from my router to my system, but from my system to the router, and it's at my system. Okay, so, okay, fine, no big deal. So today, I was thinking about this at work, instead of helping students. And I ran another ChatGPT, and it came back for the simulator that some of the same settings that I need to change. All right, we're below 40 on the EPT, so, and my spot where I double check everything again. So as soon as it hits 20, then we go to start programming the final numbers we have for our descent. Anyway, so, but this time I added in, I want to stream, and I stream to YouTube with OBS. With OBS. What are the best settings? Well, it had me change a couple of settings, and they were very minor changes in the sim, but it gave me a lot of different changes that I needed to do in OBS, and I did that. And the big thing right now is I'm streaming. I might have to make some more changes in OBS, but here I am streaming, and so far, knock on wood, me punching myself in the head, it's fine. So I'm going to say that for you guys, number one, unless you want Copilot installed, go into your system settings for Windows and uninstall that thing if it's installed. Get rid of it. You don't need it. Okay, you can get Copilot using Microsoft Edge. Okay, or if you're using Chrome or anything else, you can go to ChatGPT. Okay, so you don't need that installed and sitting in your system tray using up resources. The other thing is look at what else you got running and get rid of anything else that you don't need for flight sim or train sim or farm sim or whatever it is you're trying to do. Okay, you don't need it. And get rid of it. Okay, and if it's a program that, hey, that you installed and it's bogging down, I recommend Revo Uninstaller, R-E-V-O. Look it up. I run the free version, and it uninstalls the program and then cleans that program out of your registry. I highly recommend doing that. And like I said, then, it's up to you guys. And with the price of computers right now, which is horrendous, this is a way right now. I'm not in a hurry now. Now I'm going to sit and wait for this massive bubble in the tech industry where here after Black Friday, coming up to Christmas, prices should be dropping. They should be competitive. The industry is not even looking at gamers and consumers. They're looking at the AI data centers and how much money they can make off the AI data centers. And it's all memory. Everything's so memory intensive. You know, that Crucial says we're getting out of the consumer. I mean, they had a small market share anyway. Honestly, maybe this was something that would force them out of the out of the consumer industry, because they just can't compete with the other two companies that are out there, 3 companies. All right, so maybe for them it's a good move, and all they're going to do is focus on making memory modules for the AI data centers. Okay, good for you. Go have fun with that. Good luck. Hopefully you don't fold. All right. Here's the problem that I see on this. If people aren't going to pay, I'm going to say don't spend the money on a new system, which means that if the latest greatest comes out and you can't get a new system to play the latest greatest game, then the game manufacturers, the game developers are going to suffer because of what this industry is doing right now. So, I mean, at some point it might slow down. They'll get all the equipment that they need, and we don't need to, the prices will come back down to normal maybe a year from now. 64 gigabytes of DDR5 memory, 6400 megahertz speed or faster will be back down to $100 for a pair of sticks. Who knows? But right now, man, don't do it. You guys, consumers have the power. That's what people forget, is consumers have the power, and if we stop buying, they're gonna either keep the prices up and go out of business, or they're going to bring their prices down. But we have the power. Don't buy it. I'm just saying. Okay, anyway, there's a couple different places I'm going to show you guys. Number one, I'm looking here. You can see my cursor's floating around here on a Pilot's Life. I've got the METARs down here at the bottom, the arrival METAR, KORD, same thing, 170 at 10 knots. That's what I put in. -6. Okay, that's what I put in, and then 3016. So nothing's really changed. On a longer flight, this will change. But on a short flight like this, it's probably not going to change. That's one place I can get the METAR. Another place is if we go into, let me go ahead and turn off my flight info so you guys can see this a little bit better. All right, so if I go into the EFB and go here to my flights, I can cycle through. Here's the route that I'm doing, KSTL to KORD, and this is the route. Or I can come here to weather, and this is, okay, I can go to arrival. Let's refresh. Same thing, 3016, -6, 170 at 10 knots. So nothing's changed. Okay, fine. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to stay with that. You can see we're halfway here. We're halfway there. So now I've already passed the that waypoint that I entered in. I'm 33 miles away from top of descent. I've got my navigation display set to 20 nautical miles. So this is 5. This ring here is 5 nautical miles, 10 nautical miles, 15, and then 20. So pretty soon we're going to see that little white hockey stick start to come down, and it's going to. I'm sorry. I'm looking at something here. SimBrief gave me, well, actually, I should be changing my cruise altitude. The cruise altitude of 19,000 came from a Pod's Life, but I'm looking at my navigation, or my navigation display, the ND right here, and it's supposed to be above 24,000, but below 27,000. So I should have looked at charts below before I hit that, and yeah, but I'm flying at what they gave me. So maybe that's ATC gave me. I'm just going to go with it. Oh, I got a company message. Let's go see what the message is. Go to return. American Airline Ops. No ADC required. So basically, if I left the gate, if I got off the blocks too late, they would want to know the reason why. Because after all, it's all about the money. It's starting to climb up a little bit, so I just adjusted. It's going to adjust itself. Come back to 19,000. There we go. Alright, very good. We're good. We're right there. It's gonna, yeah, it's gonna, like I said, plus or minus 50 feet either way, we're good. Alright, so you can see the red bar there. I'm past the halfway point. You can see where it's trailing. As we're heading towards Chicago. There's the hockey stick on the navigation display. Right there. So we're waiting for that. Once it gets down to here. So as it's coming in close, same thing. I'm going to go back just to remind myself again. I want to look at O'Hare. And we're going to look at the runway. And we want to get down to 20. This is the start of the, basically the start of the glide path right here, which it looks like it is. Where is it? It's a 3-degree glide slope. So the top of the glide slope is at 2,200 feet. So that's what we're going to go set ourselves to. So if you look at the display over here, I'm going to go ahead and dial us down. Now we're not going to start to descend 2,200 feet. Okay, so it's sitting there. I've got it ready until I push in on that button right there. It will. That's when we start our descent. You'll actually see the plane start to nosedive down. So I do fly. I know some people, and that's how they want to do it. And I got a good buddy. That's how he flies. He uses the blue. You've got the guides on there. But I've gotten rid of all that stuff that says words here. This is full immersion, as close to what a pilot would deal with inside the plane. So this flight is happening at 0340 right now as we speak. That's uniform time code Zulu time, Greenwich Mean Time. So we're coming into O'Hare. It is 7 o'clock in the evening, so 7:40 in the evening on the Pacific, so this would be 9:40 Chicago time. So far, whatever frames we're dropping are doing pretty good, so I don't know if I need to change. We'll play with this some more, but I think we're doing okay. I think we got this. Thank you, ChatGPT. Thank you, EasyJet Sim Pilot, for that video you put out that made me go, yeah, no, we're good. All right, so we are done with the climb. We're in the cruise. Let's go ahead and get ourselves ready. So we're going to set our our TCAS down to below, so it'll be looking for everything below us. All right, and as soon as we will set our seatbelts as soon as we hit 10,000 feet. Oh crap! Wasn't paying attention. I was monologuing. We just passed descent, so we're a little bit late. We're gonna planes do pretty good at trying to catch up, and since we're already close, according to the purple right here, those are the constraints. It's above 14,000, below 15,000. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get off a standard, and we are looking. Remember, we had the it was 3016, so we're going to set 3016, and that's what our altimeter is going to be based off of. All right. So yeah, we're above 14,000 but below 15,000. So we got about, that's what we're aiming for. And the green dot there, we are in green dot descent. We are at the top of the scale here, so I'm waiting for it to tell me more drag, at which point we'll bring the spoilers out. Oh, no, it's starting to descend. Now, the plane is really smart. It's kind of cool. If you watch this, you'll see the plane nose up and nose down. So if it needs more speed, it noses down. If it needs to slow itself down, it'll nose itself up. And based upon the constraints, if it can't meet that constraint, then it'll say, hey, give me some speed brake, give me some more drag, is what it'll say. Give me drag, and then you go ahead and you bring out the speed brakes. All right, so I am looking at my MCDU right now. So, and we just passed this waypoint, looking for this one, 12 miles, 20 miles, 15, and then we get to 7. And when I start seeing the number of miles below 10, that's when I change the arc down to from 20 nautical miles to 10 nautical miles. So, and it gives me a little bit better control. Then I can also look for the decel. And when we get decel, that's when the plane will start to slow itself down, and I start to help it by putting out slats and dropping the gear and all that kind of good stuff. So not bad. We're 33 minutes into this flight, so I think we're from gate to gate. It's like about maybe an hour and something, but this will be a good test flight. Yeah, very good test flight. This Sunday will be a flight too. Will be a long one. We'll be flying from Salt Lake City to Guatemala. That's where we're going, to Guatemala. And that'll be interesting because I don't think that will be, I'm expecting it not to be, and I'll be doing some research and briefing myself in the charts, using Navigraph charts. I believe that is going to probably be an RNAV approach, which is different than ILS. Here I'm using ILS, using the radar and radio signals and everything else that the plane has it, and basically the plane can almost fly itself down. You're going to see a terrible landing. I'm probably going to bounce this thing. Lately my landings have been really, really rough. Alright, you can see in the primary flight display, we got the purple 11,000. That signifies that it is a constraint, and it's 11,000 feet. Right there, we have to be at 11,000 feet passing that waypoint. And you're going to see we're 11,000 feet, and we just passed that waypoint. So plane, you can see it's kind of bringing the nose up, so it's going to start slowing itself down. You can see rate of descent just decreased. So we're not quite below 10,000 feet yet. Our next constraint is 9,000. So it's doing what it needs to do. Nose up, nose down to maintain about almost just shy of 300 knots. Green dot speed is getting a little bit away from us, but the green dot speed is supposed to indicate that is optimum descent, best fuel efficiency. Some being countered somewhere in some ivory tower somewhere determined that was the way to do it. So, okay, you do that, you do you, I'll do me. So it's a night flight. I don't mind flying at night, actually. It's kind of nice. You look out there, you can't see because there's a cloud in front of us. He says, I hope it's a cloud, not a mountain. But you come in and you see the lights and cities and stuff. But then also too, I kind of miss flying at daytime because you get to see around. Okay, we are under 10,000 feet, so at which point landing lights come on, seat belts come on, and let's see, and then EFIS, we go ahead and turn on landing sequence on the EFIS as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain
set.
has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
And
please return to your
we're
seats
good to go.
and keep
So
your
okay, you can
seatbelts
see all the
fastened.
lit the fog
Thank you.
clouds or whatever you want to call that up. Welcome to Chicago, or south of Chicago, actually, southwest of Chicago. I love Chicago. Chicago's phenomenal. I love it. I was just talking to somebody at one of our sporting events out here, and he's like, I really want to go. I just walked by and I goes, man, I really want to go visit Chicago. I don't know, it just seems like it'd be a cool place. I turned around and went, it is. I've been there several times. I said, culturally, you got Museum of Science and Industry, you got the Natural History Museum, and there's also an aquarium that's all right there on the lake. Plus, you got the waterfront and everything. It's all like right there, you know. And it's just don't go south of Chicago. I don't know. I mean, that's yeah. I was warned that a long time ago. Don't go south of Chicago. I don't know what's going on with Pilot's Life. Can't figure out what it wants to do. So looks like this is Aurora, right? Aurora, Illinois. Yeah, it's like trying to figure out what to do. I'm watching pilots like bounce around, it's all right. I don't care. I just care about that red bar at the bottom. So, and for each hour that I'm in the air, I get paid 80 bucks. So right now I'm just flying initially out of O'Hare. I'm doing short flights, so they're going to be anywhere from an hour and a half to, well, actually this one's like an hour, so maybe from an hour to 2 hours.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
I still have not seen
Make
the
sure your
descent
seat
ring
belt
yet,
is
so we
securely
got ways to
fastened
go.
and all carry-on luggage is stowed underneath the seat in front of you or in the overhead bins. Thank you.
So we are at constraint. Holding us at 9,000, that's fine. Hold us at 9,000, that's exactly where we need to be. Oh, sports stadium right down there. Right down there. I want to see if I can do a medium. If I go to medium flights, I've flown across country but I didn't fly from to O'Hare, so I want to go do medium flights and see if they'll give me a flight from O'Hare to San Francisco or O'Hare to LAX or both. I mean, and those are like about 4-hour flights. So that's something I usually do if I have an early day at work and don't feel like streaming. I mean, sometimes 4-hour flights are a little bit long for you guys, but you know, hey, what is it? Now I can't see. I've got a pilot's life up because I'm watching my progress, which I should really be watching. There we go. Turn that off. So I've dropped about 2.6% of frame, so we'll see. I might have to slow some things down. Maybe if I do some of this, like some bright lights and stuff like this, maybe have OBS try to figure out as I'm actually flying the plane, see what the best settings are. But I think it's doing well. I don't know if you guys are with me or not, but if you are, man, let me know. How's the sound? How's the video? Just let me know. So, okay. So I have, I've got, let's see, so I've been fighting with this, so I'm going to go back to Run 8 Train Simulator at some point here, but I've also got Tower Sim 3. I've posted a couple of recordings up there. I want to do a live one on that. And I don't know who did it, but I'm going to tell you, whoever out there gifted me with a subscription to Live Pilots, Real Live Pilots, I think is the channel. There's a guy in there who's got a lot of good. He's an actual Airbus pilot. A lot of good tips and tricks. So there's decel after Creco. Okay. $9,000. Holding at 9,000. Let's see, where are we? Got everything there set. Oh, there's Downers Grove. I always wondered where Downers Grove was. That name comes up a lot in X-Files episodes. I haven't watched X-Files in a long time. I have to watch. X-Files was real fast. I'm just saying. It's actually kind of pretty. There's the airport in front of us, but where you can see on the navigation display, we'll be making a, because we're coming in, basically we're going with the wind right now. We need to go around, basically go past the airport, and then here's our turn, come back and then make our turn in so that we're landing into the wind. I've had Beyond ATC do that to me as well too. I plan it, and then all of a sudden I'm going in, oh, the wind shifted direction, you need to go around, and and then it was kind of cool though. I trusted. I have a hard time with trust in these games, and I trusted Beyond ATC, and they vectored me in, and sure enough, I picked up the ILS and glided right on in. It was actually a good move. There's Lake Michigan. I'm not seeing a lot of evidence in the game right now on snow, but they did get. I was watching the live streams you can look it up, ORD or KORD on YouTube, and watch them. I was watching them. It was coming down so hard, man. There were more trucks on their runways scraping and brushing and everything else than there were planes. I think that's probably why they have 8 runways. £8,000 of fuel. We're doing good. Actually doing really good. Is that a refinery? Refineries. Oh my God. People from Arizona, I feel sorry for you guys. Our governor is a jackass. I'm going to get a little bit political, but yeah, he's an absolute jackass. The Phillips refinery down in the LA area is going to shut down this week. Who was it? There was a refinery up here in the San Francisco Bay Area that shuts down at the beginning part of next year. And California supplies 33%, 1/3 of the gas to Arizona, which makes me wonder how much gas we supply to all the states around us. And he's forcing all the refineries out of California. We'll have one refinery left, and they're talking about shutting down. All because he bought into this Green New Deal, and it's not good. So, yeah, it's not good for California. It's not good for our neighboring states. Not good for gas prices. But that's the whole idea. They want to force, I'm going to get political. I'm being honest here. They want everybody into electric vehicles. And the way to do that is to falsely jack gas prices up by closing down the refineries in your state. And that way, oh, well, I have to go to electric because I don't have to spend as much money on gas. So don't follow. If you live in a different state than California, I'm going to tell you right now, don't follow California. If you have politicians, I don't care what side of the aisle they're on, if they're going to follow what we're doing out here in California, you all need to get rid of them. Just get rid of them. Tar, feathers, and a rail. I'm telling you, it's not good. All right, so I'm looking at my navigation display right here, and I'm looking how we're going to be going out. Let me go zoom out a little bit so I can see. Yeah, see how we get to this point and then turn back around? I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let the plane keep flying. We're doing about 250 knots. That's perfect. We're past the speed limit. So 250 knots. we're going to continue, and as the plane comes alongside Nichols right here, which is 9,000 feet, which is where I'm at, I'm going to tell the plane through the MCDU to fly direct to Nichols, and you're going to see it want to make a turn. But in order to do that, I got to let the plane get past. So we're somewhere right around in here. Then I'll tell it to make the turn, and it'll make the turn into Nichols, and we'll start we can bypass a lot of this. All right, so you got Nichols right here, and then there's Crico right here, and then right after Crico, this little, you guys, right at the tip of of my cursor right here, that's the decel point. So what I'm going to do is probably right before I hit Crickles, I'm going to go into the MCDU, and I'm going to actually manually start the decel point. And then when I hit the decel point, I do my before landing checklist. So we'll go over all that here in just a moment. Interesting. I guess I could, but I don't know. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to 10 miles here so we can see what I'm doing here. Now if we look at, I'm going to go into the MCDU, I'm going to hit DIR, go direct, and I want to go right to Nichols. So I hit Nichols on the left soft key, and you can see there's the yellow. You got the yellow right there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert that into, and the plane's going to start making the turn. And it's going to be kind of a steep turn. It's going to be it won't go past 30-degree bank, but it will make the turn, and we'll eventually line up on Nichols, which is where I want it to do. I want to basically bypass everything else. So. And the decel point, so I'm going to go into decel now. So what I'll do is I'm going to go into performance, activate approach phase, confirm. So we're in the approach phase. I'm going to go up, and you're going to see now on the display over here, approach is on. I've turned this on. I've turned the second autopilot on. Speed is coming down. We got the first set of eyebrows right there that we're passing. Once those pass that, I go flaps 1. That brings the slats out. You can see the slats starting to come out here. You can see how far the plane like really swung out, but that's okay. It's slowing down. It's gonna pick up this waypoint, cross Nichols, and then we'll start going down, and you'll see we're still holding at 9,000 feet. That was where Nichols is at. So we are decelerating. You can see the arrows pointing down, so we're saying, okay, we're past the second set of eyebrows. We can go flaps 2. And there's the next set, so we'll go down to, let that go by, we'll go flaps 3. We're under 180. Landing gear coming down. Landing gears down. That helps to slow us down as well. Runway is in sight. Alright, close enough for full flaps. Full on headwind, 24 knot headwind. So now what I'm looking for here now, and guys keep an eye out for it too, and don't be fooled, but we're over the lake. That's what all this black area is here, and there's Chicago, the city of Chicago is all right there. What I'm looking for and what I've been getting a lot of are some really extremely long stutters or pauses. And I did fly last night with the new setting, and it was like a real quick pause, or a hiccup. I'm going to call it a hiccup as I was on my final. So I'm looking for ones that, because it was like lasting almost up to maybe 20, 30 seconds, which is a long time. You know, and then you come out and the plane's all over the place, and it's jacked up some of my landings. So, and I think that that's where I've lost some of my landing ratings, because all of a sudden the plane's all over the place. The landing rating is coming from the pilot's life. So, so I made some adjustments, and there's a couple of other things. There's a couple of other small adjustments I want to make if I do get another hiccup. But right now everything's moving. I'm looking at my descent rate right here is looking good. This is moving. So as long as this keeps moving and this keeps moving and this keeps moving toward me, I'm okay. I'm figuring it's the sim is handling it, the video card's handling it, CPU's handling it, everything's handling it. Okay, so what I've got now is localizer has been locked. That's where the box went around it. There was a box around the glide slope. It was indicating that it was coming into the glide slope. The glide slope has now locked in. So the plane is following the signals or the beacons from 27 center. So we have 27 left, 27 right, 27 center right there. And that's the beacon that we're following in. That she'll take us right down to the threshold of the runway. What I typically do is I'm practicing, and there's a way to set it up, and I should do this and spend a day just practicing landings over and over and over and over and over again. But I'm also doing it this, and now what I do is I'm staying on autopilot, and then at a certain point as we get closer, auto thrust is on. Right now it's just above 50%. I call it 50%, you know, 50% of thrust on the engine, but you can see the little blue dot where my cursor's at. There's a little blue dot right there. That is basically where my levers are set. So I'll pull that blue dot down to where that green line is, and then I'll turn off the auto thrust, and you'll see an alarm over here, and that's fine, normal. So I get my auto thrust, and then I can control by either slowing the plane down or speeding it up with the thrust to keep it lined up on the glide slope, which is the purple diamond or the magenta diamond right there. Using rudders, I'm going to let the autopilot maintain on the localizer, which is this magenta diamond down here, until we get close, and then I'll kill the autopilot. And then it's just me with the rudders and the controls. And this is why I want to get a new side stick. I don't want to go with wind wing, because there's no damper, unless, I don't know if there is. I don't know where it's at, because I looked up information on it, but on the Thrustmaster there's no damper on the side stick. But there is on the wind wing side stick. You can actually move tighten it up or make it as loose as you want. And I'm noticing that a lot of Airbus pilots, real world Airbus pilots, don't grasp the joystick. They just use their fingertips, and they just gently move the stick, and the plane's very responsive. So kind of where I want to get. Alright, that constraint was 5,000 feet. We're going to be just above 5,000 feet, but we're still following the glide slope, and that's the important thing. Okay, we're going to be coming off the lake. Navy pilots would say feet dry here in a minute. Right now, feet wet. I've been, yeah. Oh, Chicago's just fun. Oh my God, it's so fun. Well, and then again, I have to say, the last time I was there, it was back in the mid-90s, and it was fun. Nowadays, I don't know. I don't know if there's any place I really would want to go to. I wouldn't mind going back to Chicago. I want to take my kids back there. And, I mean, they're grown up now, but I'd like to take my kids back there because I talked to them about the Museum of Science and Industry. Wow, we had a headwind. Now we've got a bit of a crosswind. Okay, this is going to make landing fun. It's still coming at us, but it is going left to right. So it'll be some left rudder. Getting little tiny micro stutters. Little tiny micro stutters. I'm noticing it in the all the street lights. And I would think that at any point right now, if I'm going to start dropping frames in OBS, it'd be now with all the lights and everything from the city, but it's not. So I might make one small adjustment on OBS and one small adjustment in the sim, and I think we're golden. First call out should be about 2,500. We're at 38, so got a little bit of ways to go though. 37. Now, if I'm going to complain about anything, which I complain about a lot of things, beyond ATC, where it's frustrating, and I don't think it's so much beyond ATC as it is FSLTL.
2,500.
There's 2,500. Okay, I'm gonna hold that dot here. All right, I'm bringing the blue dot back down to where the engine's at, and I am off of auto thrust. Master cut, master caution. We're clear. Yep, clear. Master caution. All right, I have control of the plane's thrust. Whoa. Barely just hit the stick. Spoilers armed. All right. Oh, crap. I'm on final here. All right. Runway turn off lights to on. Take nose lights to take off. And parking brakes on. Wing lights come to on. Master start for MC or the APU, 3 seconds, and APU starting. Oops. Whoa. Okay, now we got a little bit of a hiccup right there. All right, APU starting and nose train on. There we go. Landing gear down, flaps set, spoilers armed, auto brakes are set as required. Nose wheel lights, runway lights, and go around attitude set. And then that's it. We are waiting for the landing. Little micro stutters. Little micro. There's a lot of rendering right here with all the lights. I think
Cabin crew,
in the daytime, I
seats
don't
for
think it'd be
landing.
that big of a problem. got 2x2. Straight crosswind now, left to right. This is going to get spicy. There's a stutter right there. That's what I was talking about, right there. But that spot right there is where it would it would stall right there. It would just stop, and I'd be like waiting 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15, 20, 30, and all of a sudden kick in, and my plane would be all over the place. So this isn't bad, but I think it's still going to affect the landing rate. 13, yeah, 178, yeah, full on crosswind. Might just let the autopilot take it. Oh, maybe. Oh, I see snow on the ground. There is snow on the ground out here.
500.
Nice. Trees even got snow on them too.
Speed.
Yeah, I did knock the throttle. I did knock the
300. 100 above. 200. Minimum. 100.
I'm off autopilot.
40. 30. 20. Retard. 5.
Ooh. Too much rudder. Too much rudder. Too much rudder. Not enough rudder. There we go. Okay. Auto brakes off. Spoilers off. Flaps up. Brakes applied. Ground speed is under 30. I can dive off of runway right now. Where's my...
Ladies and gentlemen, for your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off the fasten seatbelt sign. This will indicate that we have parked at the gate.
Not
and
prettiest
that it is safe
landing.
for
We're
you
going to see
move
what my
about.
rating is.
At this time, you may use your cellular phones if you wish. Please check around your seat for any personal belongings you may have brought on board with you, and please use caution when opening the overhead bins, as heavy articles may have shifted around during the flight. If you require deplaning assistance, please remain in your seat until all other passengers have deplaned. One of our crew members will then be pleased to assist you. On behalf of myself, Vera, and the entire crew, I'd like to thank you for joining
Parking
us on
brakes
this trip,
off.
and we are
Let's
looking
go take a
forward to
look
seeing you
where
on
the
board
heck
again
I'm
soon.
at, because I think
Have a nice
I did
day.
kind of mess up. But hey, you know what? What's my motto, guys? I make the mistakes so you don't have to. Oh no, actually I'm good. Actually, I'm really good. Turn this in there. All right, so I'm facing over this way. So I'm basically going to be going to my left and then going down here. Got to cross this runway and then go down R. I think it's Romeo. Let's get bigger here. Yep, come down Romeo, Hotel, and somewhere in here. Okay, we'll find it. We're going to be going over there somewhere. All right, anyway, let's do the after landing checklist. So brake fans, I don't think we need that. It's pretty cold out there. Spoilers are disarmed and retracted. Yes, they are. Flaps retracted. Auto brake is set to off. Check. Engine mode selectors to norm. Check. TCAS goes back to standby. Check. Chrono, we can turn that off. It's just under an hour from St. Louis. Okay. Weather radar, we don't want to nuke anybody at the gate when we get there, so weather radar off. Predicted wind shear off. Terrain radars off. Flight directors off. Landing sequences are off. Got it. Localizers. Let's see. Strobe lights go to off. Strobe lights to off. Runway turn-off lights as required. Landing lights to off. Alright. Nose lights to go to taxi. Off. Master is on. APU start's already on. It's available. Wing ice. Got no ice detected. Yeah, I'm not showing any ice. So I'm not going to worry about ice. Okay. And then what we do, and this is not on my checklist, this is something that I read, but it's pretty cool. You do this, come up here, and there's, actually, let me give you, alright, so look at this from here. We have the electric pump right here. We're going to turn that one to on. Okay, as long as we got the master switch on here. The electric pump is the yellow hydraulic system, which is run by engine number 2. So what we're going to do at this point is we're going to go down here and we're going to kill engine number 2. Alright, so we still have power. So we still have power from the APU. No engine 2, so it will be a single engine taxi in, and we're using the electric hydraulic pump. So brakes off. Let's get going. Let's go find a gate. I think I could have taken that other taxiway, but I was looking for a yellow taxi line coming out onto the runway, but there wasn't any. So I said, okay, I'll keep going, but I'm going to make this turn right here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chicago O'Hare Airport. The temperature outside is a brisk 6 degrees minus. We do have a nice 13-mile-an-hour wind. So bundle up. Alright, so I'm looking for, as I'm going straight through this one. Alright, we're going to cross this runway here. So we're going to pull up and... Alright, nothing landing from that way. Nothing landing from that way. Which it wouldn't be coming in the same way. This is 27 left. So we're going to cross 27 left. I am the ATC, so I'm giving myself permission. Now there could be other people playing here as well too. I turn them off because honestly, and it leaves me with the question of do they see me? I don't know if they see me or not. I can't see them, so I'm just doing my own thing. When I first started doing this, there was a lot of people, it's like, what the hell is this guy's doing? He's cutting me off. And then I came to realize he probably had me turned off to where he couldn't see me, and he was doing his own thing. So, alright, I'm looking for, I think we have to come down here to K. No, I think we gotta turn there. I'm gonna turn here. You don't see anything? Yeah. Okay, what I need to do is I need to look to see if I can find an airport for, because this is actually base game, and I'm going to look to see if Field Air, who makes Tower Simulator, they have O'Hare in Tower Simulator. They also make airports for Flight Sim. So I went looking. I found an enhancement for FS Dream Team's O'Hare Airport on flightsim.to, but I didn't find I didn't find their airport. So it left me wondering where they could be, what to do. So I just got to figure some things out. Okay, I'm crossing 04 left, which is really weird. That was kind of facing in the wrong direction, but yeah, this is 04 left right here. But that's the threshold. I'm just going to cut it right here. and I think this is the American terminal. I gotta play Tower Simulator, and I'll know if this is the terminal. Find out where American's at. But right now, for our purposes, I'm just going to slow us down. And that looks like a good gate right there. So I'm going to break a rule here. I'm just going to cut across. I don't know what he thinks he's doing. It's kind of interesting how they're doing this. Okay, slow down. Why are you stopping there? Get out of my way. Dude. Alright, that's also base game stuff. I think right about there will do. So I don't have a marshaller. Alright, so brakes are set. What we want to do at this point here is, before I hit anything, I'm going to do runway turn off lights, taxi lights to off, wing lights to off. We'll go beacon off. That'll start GSX. Nav and logo to off. Engine 1 to off. Seatbelts off. No smoking. They can start lighting up their doobies. Alright, I work with too many teenagers. Sorry, when I start deboarding, there we go. I think this might be international, I'm not sure. Well, it says United. I just pulled into United. I'm American. I pulled into United. Okay, so let's go back and turn on pause light so you guys can see that. And I'm going to go ahead and click on flight report. It's not popping up for you, but I am green across the board, except for my landing rate and landing G-force. I knew that was off on that. G-force is 305, and my landing rate is 005, and I think that landing rate's affected by the stutters. So otherwise, everything else is green. So I just got to perfect my landing. Anyway, go ahead and I'm going to submit my flight. There it is. Flight has been submitted. Thank you. So from O'Hare, we're going to go to schedule. So my next flight is American 2394 O'Hare to Memphis, Tennessee. So that's my next flight. And then I go from Memphis back to O'Hare. I'm setting my schedules up and I'm basing myself out of O'Hare. I think my next route might be like a series of, it's like from one airport to the next to the next to the next and stuff. Do like a chain. But I came over here to American because I wanted to see different airports. So O'Hare is the main one I want to see. DCA I haven't been to yet. That's Washington Ronald Reagan National Airport. Baltimore Washington International, I haven't been to that one yet. So, and Memphis I have never been to yet. So anyway, I've got my flight in. So where's my dashboard? And this is why I use a pilot's life, because now it's not just getting in and flying and being kind of stupid and doing different stuff. It's to me it's like flying with a purpose. So I now I'm at 15,000, just say a little over 15,000 to 20,000 before I make senior captain level 1. I'm getting paid $80.21. When I make senior captain, this will give me a raise. I have $1,700 in my bank account right now, which I will then go shop, and I think I'm going to sit on that money until these are all the different licenses, well not licenses, but these are all the things from XP or money that I can boost I did the $10,000 bond one, or one that gave me like 1.5% boost on pay. That's on each paycheck. But then I've got two $10,000 ones right here that give me an extra 2% toward XP. So I'm going to probably sit on that until I get 20, and then I'll get over $20,000, and I'll buy those. And then after I get all this done, I'll probably start working on some different airplanes. Like I got the 737-600 that I want to start flying, and then I can go ahead and where's it at? Hello, I'm looking at shop right here. Here it is. I'm going to shop. Where is my aircraft licenses? There we go. Sorry, I'm getting a little tired here, guys. So I own the 320 family, which is 319, 320, and 321 for Airbus. I also have the 330 family, which I bought that because I got the A330 from Headwinds. Yeah, that plane's garbage. Don't waste it. I think it was free. If it wasn't free, don't buy it. I'm going to tell you right now, it's garbage. I don't like it. I do have the Airbus A350, so I want to start practicing on that one, and that one's a full glass cockpit. And like I said, I've got the 737 family, which I can do that with the 737 PMDG, 737-600, and start flying that. It basically gives me more options, more routes, with more licenses. But this program from Simbit World gives you really good reason to fly, and gives you some direction other than just I want to fly from point A to point B just because I want to fly. Now you can earn XP and you can earn money, and that's why I use it. But anyway, this was fun. I mean, so far I think we're good. I'll do another one. I did drop a few frames, so we'll go back and look and maybe make some changes in the sim, some changes in OBS, but I think I might be back, guys. So I think I may be back, and I'll start streaming some more content. But anyway, I know Monday night, not usually a good time to stream content, but hey, there it is. It's a test, and I say it passed. So we'll keep going. So anyway, I'm in the deboarding here. I got to change my picture. I'm no longer with Delta. I'm now on American Airlines. So... and I got the music muted as well too, because that's another thing. For some reason I've got music to play, but I can't hear it, so I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is the Lazy Farmer, and my name is Kurt H, and I will catch you either on the rails or in the air, or controlling a airport, something like that. We'll do something. So anyway, I'm back, guys, so I will catch you later. Have a good evening.